It was better than Ni no Kuni though, so
Fuck off.
take from that what you will. Man.
No fucking way.
Tales of Vesperia was better than Ni no Kuni, man.
No. No. No,
It's
get
a
out.
shame I never got to play Vesperia.
No, it's not a shame.
What's up, people? Welcome to the GSC podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lauchi. Joined this week, as always, by Johnny,
Hello.
Jamie C,
Hello.
and Gianni Spagnoli.
Hello.
How's everyone doing this week?
Lovely.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All good.
Lovely, lovely. Let's move swiftly on then into what we've been playing / doing this week. It should be pretty quick, to be honest.
Yeah,
Johnny,
I think so.
what have you been up to, man?
Not much, really. Oh dear.
I'm in the exact same boat, mate. With the PS4 so close, like
Yeah.
I haven't really been playing anything else. So
The biggest news I've got for you guys is I cancelled my link for my Link Between Worlds pre-order because of the PS4. I was going to get it, but obviously the PS4 is coming out next week. We're all going to have it in our hands, on our shelves, playing. So yeah, absolutely nothing. Sorry, guys.
sweet. Jamie, what have you been up to this week, man?
Right, I have been playing games, but I think in a similar position, the games just aren't like satisfying that urge because I know the PlayStation 4's out in like 6 days, 5 days. So like I put Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, whatever it's called on.
Revengeance.
Right.
Good job.
Yeah.
Revengeance, right? And it's almost as bad as Sonic in terms of the worst game I've played this year.
Wow, really? I really
Yeah.
liked it.
That says a lot.
I just don't see the Metal Gear name being on the front of it having anything to do with the game. It's not even like a fresh new perspective. This is like Joey to Friends, you know. This is how shit of a spin-off this is.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like the actual story and stuff is wank, man. But
Like-
the gameplay itself was pretty fun, I thought.
If it was like Frasier to Cheers, I would accept it, but it's not. It's Joey to Friends.
Too many TV references. Okay.
No,
So
I
I just-
get that.
What kind
Like-
of things? What kind of things about it have you got? Why do you hate it?
So I'm running through this level, and then they're like, then the exclamation marks come up above their heads, and I'm like, oh, what? I was supposed to be stealth? How the fuck are you meant to be stealth on a corridor like hack and slash? Like, this is ridiculous, and it just didn't make any sense as a game. It didn't work. You're supposed to just like fancy Raiden, I guess, all the way through it, or whatever his like skeleton jaw name is now. Jack Frost or something, isn't it? I don't know.
Mhm.
No,
What's
Jack
his name?
Lightning Bolt or something.
His
Oh, yeah, that
his
was
name's
it.
Jack, isn't it?
It's Jack
Yeah.
Lightning
Grim Reaper.
Frost. Grim, yeah, something
That's
like
what
that.
they call him.
Ah, it's just a load of wank. So what I did then is I also got excited about Mario getting like rave reviews and supposedly one of the best games of all time for next week as well. So I started playing Super Mario World again, like the SNES one,
Really?
just because that's how I do. I just
That's how you
blitzed
do
for a
it.
few worlds on that. That's in like the hours I had spare left after that crap game Metal Gear. Yeah.
Oh, bless, man. I didn't think Revengeance was that bad, but I definitely
It's
didn't
just-
think it was good.
It's just a pile of swordfoot wank. It really is.
Cool. Is that you done, man?
Yeah, please move on. I don't want to talk about that shit anymore.
Janny, man, what have you been up to?
I revisited Persona 4 after Johnny was talking about it last week. So I'm doing my speed run still. And picked up Tearaway, the delightful Vita game made by developers who made Little Big Planet.
Don't do
And
this to me.
Media molecule.
it shows... Oh, no, honestly, I'm going to do this to you because it is one of the best games on the Vita. And I know that's not saying much, but it's up there with... You've got to have this game. It's just fantastic.
All right,
There's
give us the basics on Tearaway. What is Tearaway, Janny?
Right. Well, it's a paper-based platformer. Platformer adventure platformer thing. I said, imagine a 3D Little Big Planet crossed with the color palette of a Katamari game, and you're
Okay.
basically there. And the enemies are known as scraps. They actually remind me a lot like the minions from Despicable Me. They even make a very similar noise, and they've all got one eye. So yeah, I mean, it's a very charming game, and there's also this little bit like you're the sun, so a sun will appear,
Spoilers.
and then the camera on the front of the Vita will switch on, and then it's your face.
Kind of like Teletubbies.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking when I
Alright,
first
cool.
saw it. And maybe it's just me, but I found myself just bizarrely making stupid faces. But it's
Alright.
which is weird. But they also have this cool thing where you go around with a camera. You get given a camera, and you take photographs of anything that's all in white when it's supposed to have color, and then you get an outline for what they call papercraft. So you can like build it, you can print it off, and then build it at home. And I think it's a really nice touch. So if you have kids, you can go around and go, oh look, let's make this. You take a photograph and you can print it off and build it yourself.
That's really cool, actually. As soon as you mentioned that, I thought,
exciting.
like, that's kind of shit and redundant, but then thinking about it, like, if almost anything in the game can be paper crafted and they give you the blueprint to do it, that's actually really awesome.
Yeah, it looks like there's 96 of them, I think. No, that's something else. But yeah, there's quite a lot of them, and yeah, and it's actually a really cool feature. So I'd recommend it. If you've got a Vita, you have to get Tearaway, especially as I think you can get it most places sub 20 quid, and I think that's really good. So yeah, that's all I've been doing this weekend.
Awesome. Cool, man. I've done nothing this week. like Johnny was saying, I've been hyping myself up for the PS4, and last week I spoke about all these games that I want to play, and then realised how much I'm spending next week on a PS4. So none of that's happening. They're all going on the back burner, and I've done sweet FA. So let's get on to the information that we should be talking about this week. The Xbox One came out.
Way.
Yay!
Yeah, 13 territories, achieving 1 million sales in the first 24 hours, just like the
job.
PS4 did.
Mm-hmm.
Except the
That's
PS4
just, yeah,
was only out in America
and Canada, yeah.
and Canada, and the
Fanboy a little
Xbox
bit.
One was available in 13 territories, including America and
So
the
who are the
EU.
real winners?
Well, we won't know, right? Until
Yeah.
the PS4. If the PS4 comes out here next week and they sell like 10, then it will probably be even still.
Well, there's 4 here, so
There we go.
They released some information to go along with their 1 million sales in the first 24 hours, which works out to 3.6 million miles driven in Forza, 60 million zombies killed in Dead Rising 3, 7.1 million combos in Killer Instinct, and 8.5 million enemies slaughtered in Rise.
is this really impressive though?
Does anyone really give a fuck about those figures?
No.
And like
But
2
when you put it-
races ridden in Loco Cycle.
Oh, Loco Cycle. I thought that was a joke, Loco Cycle, as a game.
Yeah.
It looks horrible.
Check out the trailer for that. There's like one Loco Cycle that just has a guy stuck onto it by his ankle, like his trousers have got caught in the bike.
That's it. That's the idea for the entire game, mate.
That is the concept for the game.
Yeah, he only speaks Spanish as well. He's Mexican, so he doesn't speak English throughout the entire game.
And it has live action cutscenes as well.
Does it really?
Yeah.
But it's not all been sunshine and daisies, man. There's been numerous reports of disk drive errors that make your disk drive sound absolutely fucking horrendous when you put a disk inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's
not destroying the disc like the first gen Xboxes, Xbox 360s. So that's
But
good.
it's got the same noise though, isn't it?
Yeah.
When
sounds
I
like-
it does sound like a laser burn going into your disc, and that would scare the crap out of anyone.
It would scare me if I put a disc in. It sounds like the freaking Grudge.
It does. Does
Evil,
sound scary.
man. And Microsoft have no answers yet, but I mean, expect them to be on it straight away. So.
And they've not released any figures, right, of like what sort of how many people are experiencing it.
Well,
No, we
I
can't
wouldn't-
really
yeah.
see any numbers yet for the fail rates or anything.
I wouldn't expect that for a while.
Interesting.
I imagine they'll probably end up doing what Sony have done and made these priorities. So if you've got a problem, they'll like I think they'll bust their balls to get it to replace it as quickly as possible. So you're not having to wait ages.
I would imagine, in terms of actual numbers, the failure rates will probably be about the same on both systems because it's to be expected on the launch of a new piece of electronics. So
Yeah.
Don't expect it to
Like,
look too
yeah.
different.
Like, bear in mind, you're going to be keeping this piece of hardware in your living room for 6 to 8 years, and it wasn't always going to be perfect from day one, and they'll get there. Both of them will.
Yeah.
They'll be all right.
Be all right.
I love how
Until-
we don't have anything else to talk about Microsoft though this week.
I know.
You know,
It's because none of us picked up a Xbox One yet. That's why.
Yeah.
What I love is we're all saying it like this, and then if I get one of a problem, I am going to go absolutely fucking mental. I know what I'm like. I'll be like, what?
So have you guys
I
checked out
don't-
any like reviews for the games? Because I think I've seen all of the reviews for all the Xbox 360, Xbox One games. Sorry. Have you guys
Yeah,
checked them?
I checked out the reviews for a few of them across the board. It looks like Forza and Dead Rising seem to be the standouts.
Mm.
Which is
I don't know
no
if
real
you guys
surprise,
checked out any of the Kinect, the new Kinect stuff. It doesn't seem to be working as well as they hoped. The fighting game, the Kinect apparently is awful at that.
That was never going to be good though.
Yeah, even like the voice actions don't seem to work 100% either.
See, now this is a point of contention because some people are saying that it's not very responsive, and others are saying that it's super responsive, like really, really good. I think it depends how well you enunciate when you speak. Like if you speak properly, then it'll probably work really well. But if you do have some sort of accent or drawl, then I can see it not
Or Londoner.
understanding. That's probably where the conflicts are coming from, I think.
So somebody buy Sloth an Xbox One and see if it works.
For fuck's sake.
It also picks up your penis.
It doesn't.
So-
It doesn't do that.
Well, there's been a lot of cool things that they were talking about. Apparently, it can recognize the pulse on the side of your neck as well.
No, do not believe that.
Well, if it can, there's amazing applications for horror games right there.
Yeah.
Remember that Connect One could disarm a bomb though, so I think we're
That's-
moving forward. Penises and pulses.
Yeah.
It's the
Cool.
next step, isn't it?
Well, the next gen.
There's a sex game coming, isn't there? If you pass
But-
the fun.
With the release of the Xbox One, that officially makes next gen current gen. Like
Yeah.
officially now. I mean, it technically already happened with the PS4 launch in the US and Canada
Whoa,
last week.
whoa.
But
No, when the Wii U came out, come on.
Oh,
That's
we're
when
not,
next
we're
gen.
not counting the Wii.
In this, the year of Luigi, how dare you?
That says it all, doesn't it?
The Wii U is more like a supplemental system, right? But with that happening, that means that the PS3 and the 360 are officially last gen consoles.
Old gen, yeah.
Old
Right.
gen, yeah. So, to mark the passing of the torch, we sat down to come up with the top 10 games of the generation across last gen platforms. I
This
think we
was
came up with a good list, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah.
And bear
Yeah.
in mind, this is a collaboration, so if we had our individual top tens, they would look quite different. So this is a real mashup of us.
This is
running
after a couple of hours of debate and
and
changing positions and what should be there. This is what we've, as a group, come up with as our top 10 games of the last generation.
we nearly recruited Dane Bowers for the podcast.
Fucking Dane
my
Bowers, man. Oh my
Instead,
god.
he got stuck
I
with
would have liked his insight. Yeah.
Stop
Oh no, we
saying
got Gianni.
his
We're
name.
fine.
It makes me laugh. Alright, top 10 games of the last generation. We'll start in descending order, or ascending order, as the case may be. And I guess we'll just talk a little bit about each one, about why we've picked it, and why it should be there, all the way up to number 1. So let's start off. Number 10 on our list, we have Gears of War 2.
Yeah.
Gears of War
Also
2,
on this.
better than the first game in every way, pretty much. Just a
Yep.
massive improvement across the board. Really, really enjoyable multiplayer. Is there any standout moments from Gears 2 that you guys wanted to bring up?
Mine would just be the multiplayer, playing with you guys, and I think we spent quite a few nights,
This is
staying
the
up.
one. If I think of a game that we've played multiplayer, this is the one
Yeah.
that I think we've racked up the most hours together on. I mean, Battlefield 3 would have been close, but I think this was more all around.
think you're
and we
right.
had more people playing with us. And we had a good time.
Yeah, so many good times spent on that game. So
I'll
Cheers,
never
guys.
forget. I'll never forget when I found out the shield glitch, man, so that I could have a boom shield and my shotgun at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Ah,
The
yeah, because
am-
horde mode, man.
The amount
Oh.
of rage messages that I got sent online, man, I was doing that. It was awesome, man.
jokes.
We did horde mode good.
Horde mode was amazing, man. That's another really big standout thing for Gears 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Cool. Well, if you guys haven't got anything else to add about that, let's move on to number 9 on our list, which is GTA
This-
5.
It's controversial, Mr. Louch, because you still haven't played it, and all the way through discussing this, you were complaining that Saints Row 2 was better. So you step back on this one and let Johnny speak.
Cool. All right. Saints Row 2's better. What?
It really is. I think pretty much what I had to say is, out of any open world game, this is definitely the most detailed and the most interesting of worlds to explore. Without a doubt, like just the amount of detail, it's just mind blowing. And yeah, the Steam story is pretty good, and the gameplay's decent enough for you to sort of explore. I think mainly it should just be in there.
And we haven't even mentioned online either. I mean,
Yeah,
that's...
online's great actually. We pretty much we played it once.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been watching Scott, my flatmate for those who are not in the know. I've been watching him playing it, and I'm so gutted that I can't at the moment. But yeah, it looks so fun, and it is actually. I had a little blast on it before my PS3 died. So yeah,
Pig mask
I
wanking,
really wish. Huh? Anyway,
Pig mask and wanking.
I wish you guys were actually on as well because.
Anyway, yeah, fantastic game. It deserves.
Sorry, Johnny. No, I didn't. I'm just still carried. I just can't forget the time I picked you guys up in my car and I'm wearing the pig mask, and then I was like, turn the camera around, and then you can just see my character just wanking you off. Oh, fucking hell. I'd just like to add though that in terms of discovering and looking for that what if moment, just a tip of the hat to Rockstar for exploring every possibility with that game, because I think it is the most well defined experience they could have possibly put up, and it's a great game.
Sweet. Okay, moving on to number 8 on the list, which we have down as Dark Souls. Dark Souls had to be on the top 10. There's no way I would have allowed it to not be there.
Yeah,
I wanted to put Demon Souls on there as well, but they're both very similar, and Dark Souls I think was the better experience between the two. Dark Souls, a massive open world with so much detail and so many intricate little secrets and that hidden everywhere, man. It's just an amazing experience. It's the kind of game where if you had nobody telling you what to do, or you had no walkthroughs, you could play that game through so many times and just find something new every single time you play through it. There's so many little hidden secrets and stuff, and different ways that you can approach things. It was just an amazing game. Absolutely amazing. And punishingly difficult as well. Gotta love that. How about you guys? What were your experiences with Dark Souls?
Pretty much the same thing, and the unique multiplayer sort of added to it as well. Like, you couldn't really directly connect with friends. You had to sort of team up with randomers, really.
Yeah,
and you could be invaded as well by other people, and they can leave messages. And fantastic. Not other games really experimented with stuff like that.
It's true. It's got such a unique feel. I mean, you're playing it alone, right? And essentially, when you're playing it alone, you feel quite isolated. But at the same time, you have the messages left from other players, like giving you hints and tips, and you can also see their bloodstains as well. So even though you're alone and you're isolated, you always feel like there's somebody helping you along through the messages. It's awesome. Such a cool system.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you guys want to add anything else to that?
No, that's it.
Sweet.
Unless, Jamie?
I would have literally just said that in terms of gameplay, I normally don't have a lot of time, so that I would devote it to games that might be a little bit easier, and I would put the difficulty levels down just so that I got the end game. But with Dark Souls, it's never been about end game for me, and it has been about that game that I want the challenge from. And progression is progression. You'll get somewhere, but for a game that doesn't have a great story, it's still one of the most gripping, intense games out there.
It's so satisfying as well, isn't it? When because it can be immensely frustrating, but you're frustrated at yourself and not the game, because when you die, it's always your fault. It's not because the game feels cheap in any shape or form. So, yeah, when you finally get past one bit that you've been struggling on for ages, it's actually a proper sense of achievement, which a lot of games tend to ignore nowadays. So, yeah, there's good, nice, refreshing change.
I agree completely, man. Fantastic skill-based dark fantasy RPG. It's amazing. Speaking of fantasy RPGs, then moving on to number 7 on our list, we have Skyrim. Johnny, talk us through Skyrim, man.
Did any of you play Morrowind? I think that was my first Elder Scrolls game, and I've been hooked to the series ever since. Oblivion was a fantastic game as well, but I think Skyrim has almost perfected what they do well, with a huge open world again, doing quests and the different branches and different character, the way you can set up your character. I think it does deserve a place on our list, and quite high as well, at number 7. So yeah, I think it's done very well. I mean, most open RPG games sort of aspire to be the next Skyrim, don't they? I mean, you have things like Dragon Age, where now it's sort of going open world to sort of match with Skyrim, I think. You know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm more of a Fallout person. I prefer the aesthetic of Fallout, but Skyrim is so much better than Oblivion, man. I played Oblivion, I didn't really get on with it. I played quite a bit, and then I got turned into a vampire and just started hating it
Mm-hmm.
after that happened, and I was just like, well, fuck this game, I'm done with it. I didn't play it since. Skyrim, though, I sunk, I think it's like 120 hours, maybe more,
Yeah,
into
me
Skyrim.
too.
Absolutely amazing. Loved every minute of it.
You
Even
can
just
really get lost in it. Yeah.
you really can. I mean, you'll be going somewhere to do a quest. You'll stumble across some completely random location that you've never seen before. Suddenly, there's a dungeon there. Suddenly, you're in a side quest. Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing, and like that happens just all the time in Skyrim. It's so packed with stuff. So yeah, Skyrim,
Any-
fantastic game.
I personally, no discredit to Skyrim, but I'm personally there with Fallout 3 being a greater game. Like, I'm happy to see Skyrim on this list, but if it was coming down to my top lists, Fallout would be higher than Skyrim. But no, like I say, no discredit to this one.
There was heated debate before we came on the podcast as to whether
Yeah.
Fallout 3 or Skyrim deserved this spot.
I think this
That's
is the
a
one,
difficult
isn't it, where we weren't too sure which one we would have, because we were kind of half and half on this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have begrudged either of them either, to be honest. So, yeah.
But Skyrim
I think-
probably is the greater experience over what we know together.
Cool. Moving on to number 6, then we have Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii. Jamie,
Like
A weekend.
every generation, this little plumber comes along and he kills it with at least one focused title. So like with the previous generations, whatever. But when you get to N64, this is the first 3D platformer that had full 360 degree control. And it's like, well, where can they go to top that? And like Sunshine was that bit of a disappointment. So with the Wii, they needed to go somewhere and get something new. And Mario Galaxy was such a refreshing idea. And the way that N64 and that 360-degree control worked, they were then like, well, we're going to top things and we're going to flip them on their heads, literally, and pull this gravitational idea between planets in there as well. That was stunning use of the control as well.
absolutely amazing game. Easily my favorite game on the Nintendo Wii by a long shot. It was the reason that you owned a Nintendo Wii. I mean, let's be honest, the reason most people owned a Wii was just for Wii Sports, right? But if you were a gamer, you owned a Wii to play Mario Galaxy, man.
Yeah, I booked a week off, ready for it. That's the sort of thing I do. When a game's that important, I'll make sure I've got some time off of work to devote to it. And the thing I find quite strange, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this, and we're not really focusing on other reviews and things, but when you look at these generation scorecards, people rate Galaxy 2 higher than they would
Yeah.
Galaxy 1, and I find that strange because the game didn't hold me.
The thing
as much
is,
as one did.
Galaxy 2, it added quite a lot of cool new features to it, right? But the wow factor was only there for Galaxy 1. Galaxy
Yeah.
2, because I'd already experienced Galaxy 1, it didn't have the same wow factor, and that's why I didn't argue that it should be higher on this list.
And similar thing then, if they'd have made a Super Mario 64 2 on the N64 as well, it would have probably put itself in a similar position for me. Like, we've seen this, maybe a couple of consoles time, like maybe now on the Wii U, if we had another version of, say, Mario 64 where you jump through paintings, it's going to feel fresh again and it's a new generation of gamers playing, so it's a bit different. But
Yeah.
those games were so close together, and it wasn't even completely new content. It was only 80% new content, 20% world levels just put into it. But yeah, never mind.
Mario Galaxy 2, I mean, it felt different, but at the same time very familiar, and it didn't have the same sort of magic. So that's why I think Mario Galaxy deserves to be on the list above it. And I think it's the best Mario game I've played in a hell of a long time. I don't think, I mean, controversial again, but I don't think there's been a Mario game since that's better than it. So we'll wait and see what happens with Mario 3D World or whatever it is coming out next week.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. All right, moving on to my personal favorite game of all time, the Mass Effect trilogy. We just have Mass Effect down as in like Mass Effect 1, but I think it's safe to assume it encompasses all three of the games. So
Nope. Fuck you.
no. All right. Well, you guys talk to me about Mass Effect, and then I will tell you about Mass Effect.
Just tell us. Just you tell us, because at the end of the day, you're going to be right.
Yeah, Mass Effect as a universe is the best new gaming universe created in the last generation. Probably the best gaming universe ever created, in my opinion. As a franchise, it's the best thing to come out of the last generation of consoles. And as a game or a gaming experience, it's probably the best game I've ever played in general. Just starting out in Mass Effect 1, which had its problems. I mean, it was quite basic in a lot of aspects. Moving through, forming alliances with these characters. It's one of the best written games I've ever played, with some of the best written characters that I've ever seen in a video game. Just absolutely phenomenal. It has an amazing aesthetic that doesn't look like it's copied from anywhere else. Everything just feels new in that game. I love it. It's such an amazing universe. Sorry, I'm going to stop fanboying out now. Do you guys want to speak anything about Mass Effect before we move on?
Just for me, people like Garrus Vakarian, such a strong character, and in this generation of games that we're looking at, if we're looking at new IPs and new characters, he is my standout, new character ever conceived in this generation of games.
Across the three games, that's about 100 hours of Garrus bromance, man. Good times.
He's and if you play it, Renegade and the other one, Paramore, whatever, then you've got an extra 100 hours. But yeah, it's great character design on him and great character.
It's just a fantastic series. Definitely check it out. If you haven't played the Mass Effect trilogy, you can buy it as a box set now with all three games. Take the same character and choices through all of them. Absolutely fantastic. Cool. Moving on then. Number 4 on our list, we have The Last of Us.
Danny, why did you pick that?
Why did you pick The Last of Us, Johnny?
I got paid off.
I'll add at this point that we had a big debate on this one as well, I suppose, in that Naughty Dog, one of the most deserving of praise across this generation. They've done so much, across just a couple of series. Again, I talk about what I would have personally put in there. I would have preferred maybe Uncharted 2 to be in contention for this list, but I can see why The Last of Us.
See, now when I was looking at the list, The Last of Us is the one that looked to me like I should probably change it for Uncharted 2, but it's also the newest on the list, and it is my game of the year for this year. So it probably does deserve to be there over Uncharted 2, even though I feel that the two are probably about on equal footing in terms of quality experiences. The Last of Us, I think, is going to stick with me a lot longer than other games, and maybe this time next year it will feel perfect to be on the list. But as of right now, I think just because it's what the you can't just do that. You can't just put stuff in the chat whilst I'm mid-sentence.
You can if you're wrong.
Why is it the second newest on the list?
Because it came out on June 14th, and Grand Theft Auto came out on September 18th. But never mind.
Right,
Doesn't
second newest on this.
Close enough.
Either way, it's a fantastic experience. It's the closest thing to survival horror we've seen for a long time, since Dead Space 1, I'd say. So it's a fantastic game.
It's all about Dead Space. Oh, what a game. Fucking hell. I don't really have much to say about The Last of Us, except that I really enjoyed Ellen Page's acting.
Oh, come on. If people keep saying that, she'll sue.
No, okay, Ashley Johnson, is that her name?
I believe so. Yeah.
She's like Ben 10's cousin, Gwen
Cool.
or whatever.
Johnny, is there anything you wanted to say about The Last of Us, mate?
I like it.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
God, so much fighting talk in the preparation for The Last of Us.
It's fine.
You limped.
That's fine. We'll let Johnny tell us about number 3 on our list. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Yeah, back when it was good, guys. Fantastic story. I don't think it gets enough praise for what it did with the story mode. And it was very new and fresh. And it was one of the first games where I thought, holy shit, this is next gen. The graphics back then on that game were just mind blowing for me. Yeah, and the multiplayer, obviously. Did we all play it together, didn't we?
Just a
Yeah,
little bit.
I played with you a few times on Modern Warfare. It was awesome.
Yeah, I spent a lot of hours on that game online. One of
You
my
and
most
your freaking snake in the grass builds, man.
Yeah, Snake in the Grass, man. Just hiding it, UAV jammer. That was how I played. One of my most fondest memories of playing Xbox Live online. So yeah, and obviously it spawned, just the Call of Duty series. But well, yeah, you know what I mean.
It was
You guys-
the progenitor. I can't think of the right word. It started the snowball, man, that became Call of Duty today, man.
Yeah, for good or for worse.
If I wasn't trying to look at chat at the same time, right, I'd be a lot more eloquent with this. Anyway, Modern Warfare, fantastic game, definitely deserves to be up on the list. Jamie, talk to me about Arkham Asylum.
What is it you want to know?
Number 2 on our list is Batman Arkham Asylum.
No way. Right. This is like my game of the generation. I think that it's. I stopped doing things on chat at the same time. This window is just like flicking up at me. You don't get many good superhero games, but growing up, I was a massive fan of the Spider-Man games, and it was just nice to see this. Fuck off with this chat thing.
Okay, carry on.
I'm just waiting for someone to write, how do I shot web? Right. What did Arkham Asylum do right? It did combat better than any game I've ever played, right? It introduced this new... I'm closing the window. It introduced a new...
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to write Batcom in there, man, honestly. Arkham Asylum.
Combat though.
Let's take this serious face, right?
Yeah.
Let's do
The
it.
best combat in any game I've probably ever played.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah, I
And
agree.
a lot of games will try and copy it now. The detective mode was a very, very cool idea.
Yeah.
The idea that you can investigate crime scenes and so on and look at projection and stuff like that. That's all a good idea. Let's face it, it's the only good DC character as well.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So-
with
That's
that.
awesome. Sorry, what?
Superman is no fucking awesome, right? So Batman needed something like this. It played the characters out really well. It gave you enough of a backstory, but left you wanting more for every input in that game as well, every character. It was just like this whole like idea that you're playing out this life in one night, right? Getting it all running through like that, and then to have such a great idea of a 3D Metroid, what's the word I'm looking for? Convention as well.
Yeah.
Like you'll see a path, but you can't quite take that route yet because you need to upgrade later on and so on. And but yeah, I'm completely thrown off by Batcom.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The reason I love Batman Arkham Asylum, and I'll always say the same thing. It was just an amazing game. It was an
Yeah.
amazingly made game to the point where you could have taken Batman away, right? There could have been no Batman. You could have replaced all of the bosses with just random enemies, and it still would have been a really good game. The fact that it's a Batman game is, for fuck's sake. The fact that it's a Batman game just makes it awesome. Apparently his parents would be proud.
One thing I loved about it was the fact that you got little background of. I was just trying to think of what it was that you collected. But one of the collectibles, you went around and you can got the history of each character in this. Of each character, because I'm not really one of the people who got involved with the whole comic book thing. So I really enjoyed that because a lot of stuff started making more sense and got background stories.
That's actually quite cool because because I am quite into the comic books and stuff, I didn't really think what it would be like for somebody who doesn't know the sort of extended lore. So if that's something that you really enjoyed in it, then that's even more of a reason why it should be that high up on the list.
Yeah, no, I mean that was a nice touch, I thought. But yeah,
Absolutely fantastic
Great.
game. All right, which brings us to the top of the pile, man. The one game that we thought
Drumroll.
the one game that we thought was better than all the rest last generation.
Just play an Xbox One. Have that sound playing.
It's BioShock.
Dun, dun,
BioShock,
dun.
originally an Xbox 360 exclusive, eventually came out on PS3 and PC. Absolutely phenomenal game. Absolutely phenomenal. There's so many moments in that game that just like leave you speechless, man. Which one? If you could pick one moment in BioShock that just sticks with you, which one would you pick, you guys?
I got it, right? There's a moment where you're going through the murky, like puddle-ridden corridors and rooms, and then you go into those rooms with the statues, and then you turn around, you hear the noise, you turn back, and they're gone, and then you think, oh, it's gonna fuck around with you, and then I'm not a person who likes scary games, but that is the one I'll play. You know, like I don't watch horror films, but then like there might be something that you just think, no, that's a standout one, and works similarly.
There were so many cool bits, man.
Yeah.
The one that sticks out for me is when I went into this room and suddenly the door locked in front of me, and then I turned around to go back, and that door shut as well, and then the lights went out, and then like suddenly splicers started coming in at me. Oh my god, that was freaking scary, man, and awesome. I think so, yeah. That or the time when I like hot-wired like 7 of those helicopter guns to come around with me. That was awesome as well, man.
Yeah, I think my favourite was right at the beginning. It's the one bit that really hooked me into the game was when you just see the silhouette of the woman looking over the buggy, and I kind of shouldn't have been so naive, but I was, and I went over to it, and then she goes to attack you, scared the absolute shit out of me, and that got me hooked onto the rest of the game.
Then you look in the pram and there's just a handgun.
Yeah. And there were so many little things as well. Like it had, I mean, we don't really talk about them, but even the achievement list was actually quite inventive, I thought, in some pieces. Not all of them, but some of them. And yeah, great storyline, like fantastic.
Like
really enjoyed.
The great thing as well is that we've found so much to talk about, and yet we haven't even really mentioned Big Daddies or Little Sisters yet as well. There's so much to it.
Big Daddies, man. What a cool enemy design. I mean, in the last 10 years, I think Big Daddy's got to be up there with the coolest enemy designs, man. Up there with Creepers from Minecraft. As in the like most iconic sort of game enemy designs, I think.
And that was just a pig fuck, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Absolutely awesome. Little Sisters as well, man. What a cool system. Scary ass little girls that look a little bit like China dolls with evil eyes.
Yeah.
You can choose
Save
whether you
all.
want to harvest them or save them.
Yeah.
Nice moral choice system there.
Fantastic game.
Absolutely amazing. So yeah, BioShock. You should check out that game. You should also check out BioShock Infinite because it ties very nicely back into BioShock 1. Feel free to skip BioShock 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 2K Australia, you dumb nuts. What are you on? But like that was a nice bridge and a nice smoke screen, wasn't it? Because nobody would like BioShock Infinite's been in the work for years.
Yeah.
But like BioShock 2 was that smoke screen. Let somebody else deal with it. Let somebody else kind of tarnish your reputation slightly and then bring it back up.
So yeah, those are the GSC top 10 games of the previous generation. If you haven't played any of them, and to be honest, you should have played all of them, but definitely check them out. They're all really good games, really enjoyable, and that is our humble opinion. So hopefully you agree with some of them. If you don't, tell us why, man. Tell us why down in the comments. Tell us your top 10 of the last generation. That would be awesome.
Or just hurl abuse at Loud Chief for not recognising GTA 5 at all.
Saints Row 2's better. Anyway, moving on. We have, I think, just a few more things to go over in Jamie's Newsflash. Bash
By my
dudes.
calculations, I've got 3 minutes, and then you can have an outro, right? Shall I go for it?
Do it.
Okay, Fallout 4 has been trademarked in Europe, right?
Hooray.
They didn't have any mention about America because it's probably going to be called Fallout We Won the World. So they'll trademark that instead. Telltale Games, responsible for The Walking Dead, great games, are now making a Game of Thrones game.
Which is absolutely amazing news, considering.
How many times can you say game in one sentence? But yeah, sorry.
Game.
There might be a Lego Hobbit game coming next year because some Lego Hobbit Lego has some teasers and that might have been leaked accidentally. I don't know. Do we care about Lego as much as we used to?
There's Lego Lord of the Rings, so that surprises nobody. I'd be very surprised if there wasn't a Lego Hobbit game.
Something I didn't talk about a few weeks ago was the Lego Marvel demo that I played and that I've now put on my Christmas list because it was fantastic. So I'm looking forward to playing that and giving you guys a proper rundown after Christmas. But yeah, so let's keep eyes peeled on that one. Right.
Cool.
Did you all see the live action PS4 trailer?
Is it the one that ends with "Greatness Awaits" on
It's
TV?
the one
yeah.
where you've got to spot
Yeah,
the
yeah,
50. You've got to try and spot the 50 Easter eggs, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, I've seen it.
So
I actually
in that
haven't, so.
in that trailer, go find it afterwards. It's got like Ryu, the taxi cab driver, and stuff.
Yep.
There's a road sign, and it's like a silhouette of Crash Bandicoot on the bottom one. Then there's an arrow pointing up on the next one, and then there's an old yellow diamond which looks like the PlayStation 1 logo.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of speculation about it meaning Crash Bandicoot is coming to PlayStation, right? So doing a bit more research into it, Activision has removed Crash Bandicoot from their website because obviously they bought the rights to him off of Naughty Dog 14 years ago now after Crash Bandicoot Racing came out. Next year marks the 15th anniversary of that game coming out, and then in that Uncharted 4 teaser, they talk about how 15 years you've kept me waiting or something rotting here. So Uncharted 4 is going to be Drake versus Crash Bandicoot. There we go.
We're calling it now, man.
Yep. Okay.
Cannot wait.
There. Going back to leaked images, there's the PS4 being bundled with the Vita, and it looks like that's going to be coming out for Christmas. Now the worry there then, and the bit that's probably not that fair, is that if companies can't guarantee stock for Christmas anymore, how are they then going to be bundling them with Vitas? I would find that a bit unfair. I would hope that they keep free sale available first, like readily available.
Oh, so this is going to be store level bundles. This isn't going to be a hard bundle with a Vita in the box.
No, they're boxed together. This is what I mean by the images. Like the image shows them as a boxed product together.
I see.
So I would be happy for that, as long as
It depends
kept
how much
stock
they're going to
available.
charge for it. If they charge like, say, £429.99 for that bundle, then it's actually not that bad at all.
I think $450. I think £100
Yeah.
for the yeah.
Yeah, 450.
But we shall see. We keep our eyes peeled again. Last week we
It'll be
were
the
talking
same
about
price. Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, no, go on, no.
I was going to say it'll be the same price as Xbox One, I'd imagine.
That's what I was like sort of hinting at. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 430. Yeah, we'll see, won't we? It's only a
Sorry.
few weeks away. Last week I mentioned Ground Zero is having that exclusive content for PS4 and PS3. Ben didn't care, whatever. There is more coming for Xbox One and 360 because obviously Microsoft have kicked off something. So we'll keep an eye on that one in the coming weeks when they actually announce what it is. But the game's due out in spring, isn't it? So we've not got long to wait anyway. All right.
Yep.
Last bit then. Massive Atlas deal going on last night, and they've shown off loads of new games.
Yep.
I say loads, I mean 4. Right. Persona 5 is confirmed for PS3.
are
That's
Slave?
coming out. Sorry? You are
You are
Slave.
slave.
You are slave. Want emancipation?
This will be the officially the first home console game since 2008 for them, so that's a massive gap. Persona 4 was in 2008, wasn't it? PS2.
Mhm. Super excited.
Yeah, that's the end of next year. What else have they got? Persona 4 Dancing All Night is coming to Vita late next year as well. I
times.
saw a trailer of that, and no thank you.
Is it like a Hatsune Miku game but with Persona characters?
It's just Persona music, Persona characters, but you just tap buttons in time.
That sounds awful.
So it's like
It was like-
Elite Beat Agents.
Yeah. I'd like it if it was like Patapon. I'd love a bit of that. No. And Persona Q. That's the 3DS game that they've
Which-
announced coming out in June.
Look
Looks
like cheap.
amazeballs,
It's got Ben's
actually.
money all over it.
It's just all the cast from Persona 3 and Persona 4, right?
Yeah,
Like-
like chibi form.
In chibi form, but it's an actual Persona style game. It's a proper like dungeon crawling RPG game.
Yeah, that could be good.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They've
Interesting.
got another beat 'em up as well. And it is called, right? It's called Persona 4, the Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold.
The what? Do you want to repeat
What?
that?
The Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold. That's the name
Wow,
of
it
the game.
sounds like Street Fighter.
What's wrong with
Having
their
a
names?
competition.
That's an amazing name. Ultimax Ultra Suplex Hold.
Yes.
Good times, man.
That's
Good
next year
times.
also.
Is it going to be a continuation of Persona 4 Arena, or is it a completely new fighting game?
It looks the same, to be honest. I mean, it's called Persona 4, then the subtitle, but yeah, I'm not a massive Persona fan. All I can remember is a bunch of chairs on the screen with little ball and chains around the chairs' ankles, but I don't really know. They can get up and go away. They're not really tied to them.
Ah, there's symbolism there, man. Wait a
Yeah.
week. The internet will tear it apart. We'll know what's going on.
Exactly.
No problem.
That's everything.
Cool. That's us done for another week, guys.
Good
That's
thing
it.
Xbox One didn't have anything fun to talk about because we were really over.
No.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We could have talked about it way more. We just don't own it. None of us own it. So what are we
So-
supposed to say?
Well, next week though, guys.
Next week, though, guys.
Oh, yes.
Next week.
Yes.
If you
I've just
thought
let you-
last week
yeah.
was PS4 Overload,
Just
Didn't
add
we-
this now then, because if you get this up in time, if anybody is getting a PS4 and they want to join in, Saturday the 30th of November, we're going to have a bit of a Battlefield overload, aren't we? We're going to play
We
online.
are
Yes.
indeed.
yeah,
let's get everybody on
Saturday
there.
night we're going to be online on the PS4 on the EU servers, fucking playing all night. It's going to be awesome. So
Mhm.
if anyone's listening and wants to get involved, just look for us on there, man.
Yeah,
You'll be able to tell it's us chatting a load of shit. It'll be awesome.
We can throw our gamer tags up on Twitter and Facebook nearer the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Yeah.
If anyone's
Do
interested.
it.
Cool. Well, I guess that is that then.
That's all she
Yeah.
wrote.
If you want to get in contact with us, you can reach us on Twitter at gsc_games. If you want to get in contact with any of us individually, our Twitter tags will be down in the description as usual. You can follow us on Facebook, and that is everything. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. And thanks for listening to our show.
Thanks,
you.
guys. What?
Bye.
Bye.